Hello, it's great to have you watching VTV News at 6 p.m. local time. I'm Lan with the latest news updates. 40 years of Vietnam-UNICEF ties celebrated on Tuesday. And literally UK's Telegraph hails Vietnam's surreal rice terraces. Now, first off, in today's news bulletin, the Ministry of Labour, Invalids and Social Affairs and UNICEF on Tuesday held a ceremony to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Vietnam-UNICEF cooperation. Attending the event, Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam spoke highly of the ties, saying that Vietnam and UNICEF have a long history of friendly collaboration. UNICEF has worked closely with the Vietnamese government since Vietnam reunification in 1975 to promote children's rights with other organizations. Primary education is almost universal and gender equity has dramatically improved. Infant and maternal mortality rates have halved, and Vietnam has witnessed steep increases in the uptake of the polio and hepatitis B vaccine. UNICEF pledged to continue to support Vietnam on equity and social inclusion in response to the disparities and vulnerabilities affecting children in Vietnam. Vietnam's economy will achieve 6.5% growth this year and 6.6% next year, according to an Asian Development Bank prediction. The bank made the statement at a press conference in Hanoi on Tuesday morning, September the 22nd.
Vietnam's industrial production achieved 9.9% growth, mainly because of a boost in production of FDI firms in the first half of this year. Disbursement was also carried out at a record-breaking speed, with the ADB citing greater investment inflows and improved consumer confidence as providing evidence for its optimism. However, the country will face several challenges to maintain the high growth rate, including unstable global economy and difficulties plaguing Vietnam's partners, China and Japan. The ADB suggested that Vietnam should focus on restructuring its public sector and supporting private businesses.
I think the government, to answer questions encouraging SME development, restructuring state-owned enterprises, improving the efficiency of the financial sector and deepening the financial sector, and continuing to resolve non-performing loans. I think these are all critical areas. These are all about improving the environment for private sector development.
The bank added that Vietnam's participation in free trade agreements will open up new markets for Vietnamese goods, but this would also mean more competition. Therefore, restructuring remained crucial if Vietnamese products in all sectors were set to benefit from increased international integration.
Vietnam's handicraft producers believe that Russia, with its 140 million population, is an ideal market for its products. The recently signed free trade agreement involving the two countries promises more opportunities for bilateral trade. Many trade promotion activities have been organized, including a Made in Vietnam product fair slated to take place in Russia this November.
A batch of products like this will be introduced to the Russian market. The whole delivery is worth about $30,000 US.
To prepare for the coming trade fair, we have created our catalog and contacted prospective Russian clients that we met in previous fairs. We think this is necessary to attract more Russian businesses to our booth.
This time, Vietnamese firms are only promoting mid-end products. This is because of a high tariff rate levied on export into Russia. High-end Vietnamese products would not be competitive. Exports to Russia currently face an 80% tariff compared to the EU's 5%.
We'll be able to bring a larger volume of mid-end products. From our experience of previous fairs, our Russian partners want to buy products that cater to middle-income owners.
Many Vietnamese enterprises are quite confident with their rollout in Russia this time. Environmental friendly, and made of natural products, Vietnamese handicrafts proving more consumers in many markets, including Russia.
Export markets still prefer natural products such as bamboo or rattan. This is a good chance for Vietnamese handicrafts to reach foreign markets.
According to Vietnamese companies, they're reaching out to their potential customers via phone, email, and online marketing. However, this has not been particularly effective. These businesses hope to raise their revenues from export to Russia by 5 to 10% by introducing their products to the coming trade fair.
Moving on now to other news, the Vietnam Bank for Social Policies is offering $1.4 million in loans to households escaping from poverty in Đắk Lắk province. Those eligible for the loans include households which used to be poor households or at the poverty threshold. These include households with higher per capita income than households at the poverty threshold, according to current law, and have escaped from poverty for at most 3 years.
Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
You're watching VTV News. Now, Vietnam has made a commitment to ban the use of bear bile in traditional medicines by 2020 in an agreement signed by Vietnam Oriental Traditional Medicines Association and Animals Asia in Hanoi on Monday. The agreement is aimed to contribute to protecting bears from extinction. We have more to follow.
According to statistics released by Animals Asia in 2011, 40% of over 60,000 doctors in Vietnam have used bear bile, which is extracted from bears which are kept in intolerable conditions. Despite it being illegal to hold bears captive for years in Vietnam, thousands of the animals continue to be kept for bile. Only a few hundred bears lived in the wild in Vietnam, and they are constantly faced by the threat of extinction.
Here that it not only causes a ripple effect of inflammation with the bears themselves, causing them great pain and pathology, but it also then provides very concerning results for the end consumer here in Vietnam. And I think that's a very, very important thing to raise, that as long as people are still taking bear bile, they are potentially harming their own bodies, not just harming Vietnam's Appendix 1 endangered species of bears.
In order to protect bears, the Vietnam Traditional Medicine Association and Animals Asia have signed an agreement to finally end the use of bear bile in traditional medicine until 2020.
The association has told physicians not to use bear bile. All of them are required to use herbal medicine instead.
It really, I think, shows the community that the traditional medicine doctors here in Vietnam are very, very serious about bringing bear bile farming to an end. And, you know, in collaboration with the government and, of course, with Animals Asia and indeed other NGOs here in Vietnam who have worked so hard to bring this industry to an end, I feel that together we realise that we are coming to the final hurdle at long, long last.
In order to achieve this target, physicians from Vietnam Oriental Traditional Medicine Association have suggested 32 types of herbal medicine that can replace bear bile.
More than 700 disadvantaged children with congenital heart disease will be granted free surgery at Ho Chi Minh City Medicine and Pharmacy Hospital and Ray Hospital in Ho Chi Minh City next year. The Eternal Heart charitable campaign has helped hundreds of disadvantaged children who have heart-related diseases. It provides a free heart screening, free heart surgery, and financial aid for those in need. Medical equipment has also been granted to local hospitals, including Ho Chi Minh City's Hospital of Pediatric. Now, local and international tourists are looking forward to the Week of Culture and Tourism on tourist rice fields to be held later this week in the northern mountainous province of Hà Giang's Hoang Su Phi district. The image of Vietnam's tourist rice fields appeared on the website of the UK Daily Telegraph's list of what it ranked as the world's most surreal landscapes. The Telegraph ranked tourist paddy fields the 8th out of the 14th in its list of the world's most surreal landscapes. The Telegraph said that the tourist fields formed one of the most striking green landscapes in the world. Now, rubbish doesn't have to be wasted. Little can be used to make useful things. This is the main message sent to the tourists to raise awareness about environmental protection. Let's hear more about the story from a tourist island in the southern central coastal province of Khánh Hòa.
This is not a common scene on the Monkey Island. The litter left behind by tourists on the island is collected and classified here. Thanks to these people, what was once rubbish becomes useful materials to create pieces of art.
We came up with ideas ourselves. We just collect the rubbish and then shape them into different things. It always feels good after doing this.
The Long Phu company started making use of litter since late 2013. They believe that if we continue to destroy the environment, it will eventually cost humanity dearly. As part of their efforts, these people collect the rubbish and recycle it.
Dumping or burning things is obviously still polluting the environment. That's why we decided to find ways to make things out of litter.
200 pieces of art have been created in the past 2 years. These two beautiful peacocks are made from 12,000 used bottles. These artworks have left an impression on tourists.
I've noticed that these pieces on display here are recycled materials. This is a good way to promote a message about protecting the environment.
The companies are trying to make 1,000 pieces of art from the rubbish to create a green love garden by the end of this year. This is their own way to help raise public awareness about environmental protection.
And coming up next is the updated weather forecast. And that concludes VTV News for this hour. Repeats of our bulletins are on vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. So remember to check them out. I'm Lenning. Have a good day.